Jayson Tatum is a player that has been widely covered in basketball media all the way back to his high school days. He always seemed to be a player that had star potential, but lately I've been seeing all sorts of questions about how high Tatum's ceiling goes and whether or not he has the potential to be a top 10 player in the NBA and among the candidates for a Most Valuable Player award in his career. I'm going to be breaking down every single aspect of Jayson Tatum's game and explaining how high I think his ceiling is and whether or not I think Jayson Tatum is a generational talent. I think generational talent is a term that gets thrown around a lot these days with players who may or may not deserve it, so I want to get into Jayson Tatum and break down his game and see if he actually is. We're going to cover all parts of Tatum's game in this video, so be sure to stick around until the end of the video so that you don't miss anything. So, Jayson Tatum is 23 years old and heading into his 5th NBA season. This past season was by far the best season of his career, despite the Celtics not having a deep playoff run and losing to the Nets in the first round of the playoffs in 5 games. Now, this was not at all the fault of Tatum because he averaged his best playoff numbers of his entire career, putting up 30.6 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 4.6 assists with 1.2 steals and 1.6 blocks per game on 57.7% true shot percentage, which is just really, really crazy for a 23-year-old. He went as far as dropping 50 points in Game 3 of Round 1 against Brooklyn on 53% field goal shooting and 45.5% three-point shooting. He was absolutely a man possessed, and even though the Celtics didn't get the result that they wanted, I still think this was Tatum's moment where he said, "I hope you all are ready because next year, this is what you're getting." The Celtics were obviously burdened by some unfortunate injuries and COVID luck throughout the season, and in a recent video about the Celtics from a couple weeks ago, I broke down why I think they're much better equipped to handle a deep postseason run this year. One thing that I mentioned in that video is that I expect Tatum to make another leap in this upcoming season, potentially becoming an upwards of 28 points per game scorer and being among the top 10 to 15 players in the entire league. He averaged 26.4 points per game this season on 57.6% true shot percentage, which is already really, really good. If this is what he stayed at, that's honestly incredible output from a player as a first option for a team that wants to contend. But I don't think that's where it stops with Tatum. If you look at his points per 75 possessions this season, he recorded 27.1 points. This to me seems like a baseline going forward for him in terms of points per game output. He can score at all 3 levels, being a 73.1% shooter at the rim and a 38.6% three-point shooter. He's shown the ability to hit mid-range shots, but one big thing that Tatum definitely needs to work on going forward is his shot selection in the mid-range. He has the propensity to take a lot of difficult shots. It's worth noting that a lot of the time he does make them, but he does need to improve inside the arc to maximize his efficiency and make sure that he's only getting high-quality looks. I've had a lot of Celtics fans tell me that they get frustrated with Tatum's shot selection sometimes, and that kind of leads me into my next point. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, which you should because I'm posting a lot of content on a daily basis over there at AlexHoopsYT, you'll know that I talked about Tatum's shot selection a little bit, particularly from three-point range. An interesting thing to note is that Tatum has some of the worst three-point shot quality in the entire NBA, ranking in the bottom 1% in three-point shot quality. Despite this, he is in the top 1% of the league in three-point shot making and perimeter shooting. The only other players that are in this same echelon of three-point shooting, with the combination of poor three-point shot quality combined with elite three-point shot making, are the Steph Currys, Damian Lillards, Bradley Beals, and the Luka Doncic's of the NBA. That's elite company for Tatum, and he's on par with some guys that many consider to be top 10 players in the NBA when it comes to three-point shooting. The point of all of this is that despite Tatum taking such difficult and what some might consider bad shots, he's capable of making them on a pretty consistent basis. I know that many times that I've watched Tatum take a sidestep three after sidestep three and cringed, and then it goes in and I'm just like, how the heck did he make that? It can be really frustrating when the shots aren't falling, but more often than not, they are. I know people get a bit tired of the Tatum and Kobe stuff, but you can really see the Kobe and Tatum shine through. Whether it's a sidestep three, turnaround baseline jumper, or a mid-range pull-up, he's got a knack for those difficult shots that just leave you with your jaw dropped, wondering how the heck did that go in. Now, like I mentioned earlier, Tatum is an elite level finisher. Per 75 possessions, he's driving to the rim at an average of 12.7 times, on par with the amount of drives for the top 10% of players in the NBA. His adjusted field goal percentage comes in at 68.63%, and his overall finishing talent, which is a score evaluating a player's ability to get to and score at the rim, comes in at plus 1.8, which may not sound very high, but that puts him in the top 5% of the league. Tatum is also an underrated dunker. It's not a major part of his game, but his ability to go toe-to-toe with rim-protecting bigs and put guys on posters is something that I really don't think he gets enough credit for. It's another testament to how good of a finisher he is. The next aspect of Tatum's game that I think we'll see improvement in next year is some more playmaking. He's improved his playmaking output every single season of his career, going from 1.6 assists per game and now up to 4.3, which isn't a lot right now. It's not the assists per game that get me excited with Tatum, it's his scoring gravity. One thing that all the elite players have in common is their immense gravity, causing defense to collapse on you and drawing defensive attention, opens up so many other scoring opportunities for your teammates. Tatum ranks in the top 1% of the NBA in scoring gravity, so the defensive attention is there. He clocks an impressive 8.3 box creation, which means he creates on average 8.3 open shots for his teammates per 100 possessions. A lot of that is due to his scoring gravity. Being able to carve up defenses and draw attention away from his teammates results in a lot of open looks. While the assist numbers don't reflect how solid of a playmaker Tatum is turning into, there are some very promising signs, and we've seen several instances of him making really difficult and flashy passes, which has me really excited for him to develop this part of his game. It's just a matter of whether or not he fully implements it. I'm not calling Tatum an elite playmaker by any means, so don't think I'm overhyping this aspect of his game, but it is worth noting that these areas do exist, and it has the potential to make him much more of a versatile offensive threat. Now, I know there's all sorts of conflicting reports about Tatum's actual height, but his height helps him be a really solid rebounder. Averaging 7.4 rebounds per game on the season at age 23 is a really good sign of things to come. He's already a really good defender, and that rebounding is not only a testament to that, it's a cherry on top for someone who is so potent offensively. He's one of the best defensive rebounders among power forwards in the NBA. Continuing this analysis of his defense, he's also a solid perimeter defender. He's great at recovering loose balls, he's good at disrupting passing lanes, and has shown he's capable of getting solid steals. I would say that Tatum is a better on-ball defender than he is an off-ball defender, but I think the off-ball defense is going to come with age and development for him. He has the size to eventually be able to defend multiple positions, but for now he primarily defends guards and small forwards. I think for him to be considered an elite level defender, he'll need to become that switchable guard and big defender. I have no doubt that he's capable of it though. Impact metrics also like Tatum a lot. I'm not going to delve too much into impact metrics because I think they only tell you so much, but he ranks in the top 10% of the NBA in LeBron, RPM, Raptor, luck-adjusted RPM, and box plus minus. Tatum has so many tools at his disposal. He's such a solid ball handler, and that pairs with his ability to hit difficult shots off the dribble, finish at the rim, all while being a more than serviceable defender. This all makes him a perfect candidate to be a perennial All-NBA threat for years to come. The fact that he's only 23 and not even close to his prime yet is such a promising sign for Boston fans. There's quite literally nowhere to go but up for Tatum, and I could easily see him winning an MVP or multiple throughout his career. As far as championships go, that just depends on how good of a team is around him. The key takeaways from this video are as follows. He is an incredible scorer. He needs to utilize his scoring gravity to become a better playmaker. He needs to become a more versatile defender, and he needs to improve his shot selection. I'm not saying he's bad at any of these things. These are just areas that I think he could continue to improve on to make him a more versatile player. None of these things seem like particularly difficult things for him to improve on, given where he's at age-wise and with his development, so I have no doubt he will only continue to get better. So do you think that Jayson Tatum is going to be a top 10 player in the NBA? Be sure to leave a comment below and let me know. Do I think Tatum is a top player in the NBA next season? Honestly, come the end of the season next year, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. I think he's fully capable of doing that. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like because that's the best way to help me out with the algorithm. And if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I'm posting videos like this all the time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.